Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most famous coins that everyone seems to be buzzing about lately, the 1940 D mint mark Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this simple 1-cent coin from 1940, minted in Denver, is currently valued at a whopping $76,200 for certain specimens in pristine condition. Yes, you heard that right, over $76,000. So, if you've got an old collection or a random jar of pennies sitting around, you might want to check it out after watching this video. Let's break down exactly why the 1940 D Lincoln penny can be worth so much money. We'll cover the factors that determine its value, the key characteristics you should look for, and how the condition of the coin plays a huge role. So, make sure to watch until the end, you won't want to miss this. To really understand the value of this penny, we need to take a quick look at its history. The 1940 D penny is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. It features the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and two wheat ears on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. The D mint mark signifies that this particular penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. Back in 1940, the U.S. Mint produced over 81 million pennies at the Denver Mint alone. So, you might be thinking, why would a coin that was produced in such high numbers be worth so much money today? That's a great question, and it's one that really comes down to rarity in condition, errors, and collector demand. Let's start with condition. Most of these pennies went into circulation, which means they experienced a lot of wear and tear over the decades. If you have one that's in pristine condition, that alone can increase its value significantly. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from poor all the way up to mint state. The 1940 D penny we're talking about, the one worth $76,200, is an example of a near-perfect mint state specimen, graded at MS 67+ or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Professional grading is essential if you believe your penny is in fantastic shape. A small difference in grade can mean the difference between a $100 penny and a $76,200 penny. What makes the high-grade 1940 D penny so rare is the combination of a sharp strike, no visible scratches or damage, and an attractive luster. So, if your penny has a beautiful red color, no discoloration, and virtually no contact marks, you could be looking at a very valuable coin. For the 1940 D, anything graded at MS 65 or above is worth holding onto. Another factor that can drive up the value of the 1940 D penny is mint errors. These can include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or punched mint marks. Collectors love error coins because they're unique. They're like a window into the history of the minting process. Imagine finding a penny with a double die that causes some of the lettering or even Lincoln's profile to be doubled. It can add hundreds or even thousands to the coin's value. The current market value of $76,200 is for a top-graded 1940 D penny, which reflects a combination of rarity and high demand. The coin market is driven by collector interest, and the wheat pennies have always had a special place in the hearts of numismatists. The recent spike in auction prices also indicates that there are collectors willing to pay a premium for high-quality examples. In fact, one such penny recently fetched this incredible sum at a major auction, thanks to its high grade, beautiful toning, and lack of flaws. Now that you know what makes these pennies valuable, let's talk about how you can identify and potentially sell one of these prized coins. First, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to check the condition of your penny. Look for details in Lincoln's hair, the crispness of the wheat stalks, and any potential mint errors. Next, consider getting your coin graded by a professional service if you think it's in exceptionally good shape. Grading services like PCGS or NGC will not only certify your coin's authenticity and grade but will also make it easier to sell at auction or to collectors. Keep in mind that getting a coin graded can cost anywhere from $30 to over $100, so it's worth it only if you believe your penny is in top condition. It's also worth mentioning that the 1940 pennies minted in Philadelphia, without a mint mark, and in San Francisco, mint mark, can also be valuable, though generally not as much as the high-grade Denver Mint version. Always check for that mint mark just below the date to know where your penny was minted. So, there you have it, folks. The 1940 D. Lincoln penny is an incredible reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the most value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, there's always a chance you could stumble upon a coin that's worth far more than face value. If you think you found one, make sure to do your research, get it graded, and, who knows, you could be holding a $76,200 penny in your hand. We're diving into a very exciting topic for all you coin collectors and history buffs out there. We're going to be talking about the 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny with a mint mark that makes it worth big money. Yes, I'm talking about a current market value of up to $88,200. Whether you're looking through your pocket change, rummaging through an old piggy bank, or checking out your grandfather's coin collection, this is one video you don't want to miss. This iconic coin may just be lying around in your collection, and today we'll explore why this penny is worth more than some people's cars, or even a down payment on a house. So sit tight as we take a look at what makes the 1925 Lincoln penny so valuable, what mint marks you should look for, and what current market conditions say about its price. Alright, let's take it back to 1925 for a moment. The 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny is part of the series that started in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, and its simple but beautiful design has become one of the most beloved coins in American history. On the front, we have Lincoln's portrait, and on the back, there's the pair of wheat stalks, thus the name, Wheat Penny. But not all 1925 pennies are created equal. While millions were minted, only a few had the specific characteristics and mint marks that collectors go crazy over today. And that's where the value comes in. Some of these coins are worth much, much more than just 1 cent. So, what's the key here? Why are some of these 1925 Lincoln pennies worth upwards of $88,200 while others might only be worth $1 or $2? It all comes down to mint marks, condition, and rarity. In 1925, Lincoln pennies were produced in 3 main mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints placed a small mint mark on the coin to identify where it was produced. Now, the 1925 S. Lincoln Wheat penny is the one that's particularly valuable. The S mint mark is located just below the date, on the obverse side of the coin. Compared to the others, fewer of these were produced, which makes them much scarcer today, especially in high-grade condition. Okay, let's talk about why this coin is so incredibly valuable in the current market. It's not just the S mint mark, but also the condition of the coin that matters. The grading system for coins runs from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS 70. For a coin to be valued at over $88,200, we're generally talking about a grade that's mint state 65, MS 65, or higher. In fact, there have been sales of MS 65 or MS 66 1925 S pennies that fetched prices in this range. Coins that have survived nearly a century in such pristine condition are exceptionally rare, which is why collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Just to give you an idea, a lower grade 1925 S penny, something like very fine, VF 20, might be worth between $20 to $50. But the jump in value is astronomical once you hit the higher mint state grades because the difference in condition becomes exponentially more significant. So, what's the current market value of a 1925 S Lincoln penny in top condition? According to recent auctions and reputable coin valuation sites, a 1925 S penny in MS 65 or MS 66 can go for anywhere between $80,000 and $88,200. Just recently, one of these coins sold at auction for $88,200, which is why we're so excited to talk about it today. Prices like these are, of course, reserved for the best of the best. If your 1925 penny has scratches, discoloration, or wear, it won't be fetching those big bucks, but it could still be worth more than face value. Collectors are always looking for these pennies, even if they're not in perfect condition. So how do you know if you have a valuable penny in your hands? First, check for that S mint mark below the date. If you've got it, your next step is to assess the condition. Are the details of Lincoln's face clear? Is the date legible without any damage? The less wear and tear, the better. To get an accurate sense of its value, you might want to consider getting it professionally graded by a service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They can give it an official grade, which will significantly impact its value if you decide to sell it. And remember, condition is key. Those high mint state grades are what bring in those incredible prices. But why are people willing to pay so much for a penny? Well, beyond its rarity, the 1925 S penny is a piece of history. Think about it, this coin was minted in the Roaring Twenties, a time of cultural and social transformation in America. People love to own something tangible from an era gone by, and coins like this connect us directly to the past. Add in the fact that fewer than 30 million were minted in San Francisco compared to over 100 million in Philadelphia, and you have a recipe for a truly sought-after collector's item. It's like holding a piece of the past in your hand, and for some collectors, that's worth far more than just monetary value. So, if you're hoping to find one of these valuable 1925 S Lincoln pennies, where should you look? The good news is that these coins could be anywhere. Always keep an eye out for wheat pennies in your pocket change, and be especially alert for the 1925 S. Alright, everyone, that's our deep dive into the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny, especially that rare and valuable 1925 S mint mark that could be worth as much as $88,200. If you found this information helpful, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting tips and interesting stories from the world of numismatics. We're diving into the fascinating world of coins, specifically, the 1941 Lincoln cent with a mint mark. Would you believe me if I told you that one of these old pennies could be worth an astonishing $65,200 in today's market? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to take you on a journey through history, rarity, and value of this iconic coin. And who knows, you might even have a treasure hiding in your pocket change. Let's get started. The 1941 Lincoln penny comes from an interesting period in American history. Picture this, the year is 1941, the United States is on the brink of entering World War II, and the Lincoln penny has already been in circulation for over 3 decades. Introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln cent became one of the most recognizable coins in the U.S. In 1941, these coins were produced in 3 different mints: Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark. Each of these pennies has a unique history and value, but today we're focusing on the valuable ones, particularly the 1941 Lincoln penny with a D or S mint mark. So, what exactly is a mint mark? It's a tiny letter placed on a coin that indicates where it was produced. In the case of the 1941 Lincoln penny, there are 3 varieties: No mint mark, Philadelphia, a D mint mark, Denver, and an S mint mark, San Francisco. Why does the mint mark matter? Well, it's all about rarity. Coins produced at different mints have different production numbers, which affects their value today. The 1941 D and S mint mark pennies are highly sought after by collectors, especially when they are in exceptional condition. Now, let's talk about why some of these pennies are worth the big bucks. Not all 1941 pennies are created equal. Some of the most valuable 1941 pennies are actually error coins. This includes varieties like the double die and the repunched mint mark. Double die errors occur when a coin is struck twice by the die, creating a noticeable doubling effect on parts of the design, such as Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions. These errors are extremely rare, and collectors will pay a premium for a coin with such unique features. Another rare type is the RPM or repunched mint mark. If the mint mark was stamped twice, slightly out of alignment, it creates a shadow effect under the mint mark. This can drive the price up significantly. Asterisk, of course, condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. To understand the value of your 1941 Lincoln penny, you need to know about coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. The higher the grade, the better the condition, and the more valuable the coin. Coins that are in mint state, which means they show no signs of wear and look almost as if they just came off the minting press, are graded between MS60 and MS70. The holy grail for collectors is finding a 1941 Lincoln penny in MS65 or higher, especially with a D or S mint mark. Asterisk, just to give you an idea, a 1941 S penny graded MS67 recently sold for an incredible $65,200. That's right, over $65,000 for a penny. The reason is simple: rarity. Very few of these coins exist in such pristine condition. Asterisk, let's break down the current market value of the 1941 Lincoln penny. If you have a 1941 penny with no mint mark in average circulated condition, it might only be worth around 10 cents to $1. However, if you find one in near perfect condition, say, MS67, it could be worth several $100s. The real money, though, lies with the D and S mint mark varieties. For example, a 1941 D penny in MS65 condition might be worth between $100 and $200. But if you have one graded MS67 or higher, you're looking at a value potentially exceeding $10,000. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, a 1941 S penny graded MS67 plus recently fetched $65,200 at auction. This is because high-grade examples of the 1941 S are extremely rare. Most of the coins from that year were circulated heavily, and finding one in pristine condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Now, you might be wondering, do I have a valuable 1941 penny? Here's what you need to do to find out. First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. You want to look closely at three key factors: the mint mark, any signs of doubling, particularly on the date or Liberty, and the overall condition of the coin. Check for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. If you see minimal wear, you might have a higher grade coin. Also, make sure to look at the mint mark area. Any repunching or errors could mean significant value. Asterisk, if you think you have a valuable 1941 penny, the next step is getting it graded. Sending your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can authenticate its condition and give you a better idea of its value. This can greatly increase your chances of getting top dollar for it. Asterisk, once your coin is graded, you can consider selling it at a reputable auction house, on eBay, or through a trusted coin dealer. Remember, the better the grade and the more unique the coin, the higher the demand among collectors. So, there you have it, folks. The 1941 Lincoln penny might just be a hidden treasure, and if you're lucky, it could be worth up to $65,200 or more. Always be sure to check your pocket change and old collections, because you never know what kind of gems are hiding in plain sight. We're talking about a specific penny, the 1944 Lincoln penny minted in Denver, known as the 1944 D penny. You might want to check your change jars after this one because you could be sitting on a gold mine. So, what's so special about this penny, and why could it be worth such a staggering amount of money? Let's break down the details step by step. First, let's rewind to 1944. The United States was still heavily involved in World War II, and many of the resources that were usually used to mint coins, like copper, were diverted for the war effort. As a result, in 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of zinc-coated steel instead of copper. These so-called steel pennies were a necessity during wartime. However, in 1944, the mint returned to using copper, though there were some interesting variations. In 1944, the pennies were supposed to be made from recycled shell casings, which gave them a very unique blend of metals. But what makes the 1944 D penny so fascinating is the rare mix-up that occurred, leading to some pennies being struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. That's where the money lies. Now, most 1944 pennies were made from copper, but a few were accidentally struck on those steel planchets. This mistake created a valuable rarity. If you find one of these steel planchet 1944 D pennies, you could be looking at a massive payday. The current market value of one of these error coins can go as high as $70, $200, and even higher depending on the condition of the coin. Of course, the value of any coin heavily depends on its condition, or what we call grade. If you've got a 1944 D penny that's in mint state, meaning it has hardly any wear and still has its original luster, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Even in a lower grade, a steel 1944 D penny can still fetch thousands at auction. Just last year, one sold for $70, $200, all because it was in great shape and had that rare error. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1944 D steel penny? Here are some tips. First, look for the D mint mark just below the date. This indicates it was minted in Denver. Then, grab a magnet. If your penny sticks to a magnet, you might have a steel planchet error. Most copper pennies will not stick to a magnet, but a steel one will. If your 1944 D penny sticks to the magnet, it's time to get it professionally authenticated. This step is crucial if you want to realize the full value of your coin. A professional grading company like PCGS or NGC can certify that your coin is indeed a steel error penny, which will significantly boost its market value. And let's talk about auctions for a second. When a coin like the 1944 D steel penny goes up for sale, collectors from around the world take notice. These coins are so rare that they're highly sought after, and bidding can get competitive. That's why you hear about some of these coins reaching values like $70, $200, and in some cases, even more. So, what should you do if you think you have one of these valuable pennies? First, do the magnet test. If it passes, take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading company to have it authenticated. And remember, even if it's not the rare steel version, a 1944 D penny made of copper can still be worth more than its face value, especially in excellent condition. Just to recap, there are a few different types of 1944 pennies you might find. It's the steel version that's the real jackpot, but even the standard 1944 D in great condition can be worth a fair bit. Remember, folks, the key is condition and rarity. If you've got a 1944 D penny, take good care of it. Avoid cleaning it. Cleaning a coin can lower its value. Store it safely, and always handle it by the edges to preserve its condition. I hope this video inspired you to go through your old change jars and maybe even start a new hobby in coin collecting. You never know what treasures you might find. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into the 1944 D penny, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe for more content about valuable coins and collectibles. We're going to dive into the world of pennies, specifically the 1949 Lincoln cent. Did you know that some of these old copper pennies can be worth more than $58,000 today? Yup, that's right, these common coins could potentially put a big chunk of cash in your pocket. If you've got a coin jar or an old collection sitting around, you might just be in for a pleasant surprise. In today's video, we'll talk about why these pennies are so valuable, how to identify the rare ones, and what makes them worth so much money on today's market. To understand why a 1949 penny could be worth thousands of dollars, let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent was first minted in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The 1949 penny is part of this long-running series. It features the classic design with Lincoln on the obverse side and the wheat ears on the reverse side, which was used up until 1958. In 1949, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint marks for these coins are D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark for Philadelphia. These small mint marks can make a huge difference in value, so be sure to stick around as we explore which variations are worth the big bucks. Now, let's talk about those mint marks and why they matter so much. In 1949, there were three different types of Lincoln pennies based on where they were minted. The Philadelphia penny is the most common one you'll come across. However, the Denver and San Francisco mints produced fewer pennies, making them more sought after by collectors today. The rarity of a penny significantly affects its value. The 1949 S penny is especially rare in high grades, and collectors will pay top dollar for well-preserved examples. For instance, a 1949 S penny that has been graded as MS67RD by a professional grading service can fetch an impressive price at auction. In fact, one of these coins recently sold for $58,200, making it one of the highest-priced 1949 Lincoln cents out there. Alright, so how can you tell if your 1949 penny is worth a small fortune? There are three main factors that determine its value: condition, mint mark, and any errors. The condition of your penny is perhaps the most important factor. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Collectors use a grading system ranging from to state for these pennies. Anything graded or higher is considered to be in outstanding condition and could bring in a significant amount of money. Look for coins that still have their original reddish luster. If your penny still shines and looks almost brand new, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. Check under the date on the front of the penny for a mint mark. Remember, if you see a small S or D, you've got a coin from San Francisco or Denver. The 1949 S penny is usually the one that attracts the most attention in auctions. This is where things get really interesting. Error coins can be incredibly valuable. Some 1949 pennies have doubling errors, known as **** double dies ****, where the numbers or letters appear to be doubled. This kind of error can make your penny worth thousands of dollars more. Another type of error to look out for is the off-center strike. If part of the design seems to be missing or off to one side, that's a sign of an error during the minting process, which could also increase the value. So, what's the current market value of a 1949 Lincoln penny? As of right now, the most valuable 1949 pennies, those in mint state condition with minimal wear and perhaps even an error, can sell for up to $58,200. But even if you don't have the rarest of the rare, many 1949 pennies can still bring in a nice profit. If you think you have a valuable coin, it's best to get it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade will give you an accurate assessment of the condition and can significantly increase your coin's value when it's time to sell. You can sell these pennies through online auction sites like eBay, or you could take them to a local coin dealer or a coin show. Keep in mind that dealers will often pay you a little less, as they need to make a profit too. And there you have it, folks. The 1949 Lincoln penny may look like just another coin, but it could be a hidden treasure worth thousands of dollars. The key is in the details. Mint mark, condition, and errors can make all the difference. We're talking about something absolutely fascinating in the world of numismatics, the 1957 Lincoln penny that might just be hiding in your pocket change, and it could be worth a whopping $50,200. Yes, you heard that right. So stick around to learn how this humble 1-cent coin has transformed into a serious collector's treasure. Before we dive into the details, let's take a quick journey back to 1957. It was a time when a gallon of gas cost just 24 cents, and Elvis Presley was rocking the world with his new hit, Jailhouse Rock. It was also a time when the United States Mint struck millions of 1-cent coins, each featuring the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. These coins have a story that most people don't realize, and that's what makes the 1957 Lincoln penny so special. Now, if you have a 1957 Lincoln penny in your collection or find one in your change, you might be wondering, what makes this coin so valuable? And why could it be worth as much as $50,200? Well, let's break down the key factors. First, we need to talk about the mint mark. In 1957, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. If you have a penny with a little letter D underneath the date, that means your coin was minted in Denver. A penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. Generally, the mint mark itself isn't enough to give the coin extraordinary value. Instead, what matters is the condition, rarity, and whether any errors occurred during the minting process. Error coins are particularly sought after by collectors. A minor error can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth thousands of dollars. So, what kind of errors are we talking about here? One of the most common valuable errors on a 1957 Lincoln penny is a double die error. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned or used twice, creating a doubled image on the coin. Look closely at the date, the word liberty, and the phrase, "In God we trust," to see if you can spot any doubling. If you find this on your penny, you could be looking at a coin worth a small fortune. Another type of error that makes the 1957 penny valuable is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned with the die, resulting in part of the design being missing. Depending on how off-center the strike is, the value of the penny can increase significantly. Lastly, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are worth far more than coins that have been used in everyday transactions. If your 1957 penny is shiny, free of scratches, and looks almost as if it just left the mint, then you have a much higher chance of it being valuable. So, why is one specific 1957 Lincoln penny valued at $50,200 today? Well, in 2019, a 1957 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse in pristine condition sold for that astonishing amount at an auction. This coin was graded MS-67 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, meaning it was almost perfect, with very few minor blemishes visible only under magnification. Collectors are willing to pay big money for coins like this, especially if they are rare error coins and are graded highly. Why do collectors pay such high amounts for these coins? It comes down to a few factors: rarity, condition, and demand. The higher the grade, the more flawless the coin, and the rarer the error, the more it is sought after by collectors who want the best specimens for their collections. Alright, so how can you determine if your 1957 penny is worth anything close to $50,200? First, you'll want to examine the coin for any errors we've mentioned. You can use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the date and lettering for doubling or any unusual markings. Next, you'll want to have the coin graded by a professional. Organizations like PCGS or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, will provide an official grade for your coin, which helps determine its market value. Keep in mind that the grading process can be expensive, so it's worth considering whether your coin has a good chance of being valuable before sending it in. If you find an error or if your 1957 Lincoln penny appears to be in immaculate condition, it might be worth taking it to a coin dealer for a professional opinion. You can also check recent auction results online to see if coins like yours have been sold for significant amounts. As of now, the value of a 1957 Lincoln penny can vary widely. In circulated condition, it might only be worth a few cents over face value. However, pennies with notable errors, or those in perfect uncirculated condition, could range from $50 to several $1,000s. And, as we discussed earlier, the highest recorded sale of a 1957 penny reached an incredible $50,200. It's important to understand that the market for collectible coins can fluctuate. The prices depend on collector interest, rarity, and even economic factors. So if you have a valuable penny, you may want to keep an eye on the market before deciding to sell. So, what if you discover that your 1957 penny is worth big money? How do you go about selling it? There are a few different ways. You can bring it to a reputable coin dealer, list it on online marketplaces like eBay, or consider auctioning it through a company like Heritage Auctions, where rare coins often sell for premium prices. Just be sure to do your research and ensure that you're dealing with trusted professionals to get the best value for your treasure. So there you have it, folks. The 1957 Lincoln penny may look like just another coin in your change jar, but it could be a valuable collector's item worth tens of thousands of dollars. Remember to check for those key details: mint marks, errors, and condition, because you never know when a small penny could lead to a big payday. If you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing coin stories and numismatic treasures. And hey, if you have a 1957 penny, drop a comment below and let us know if you think you've struck gold. Because we're talking about a very special penny, the 1960 Lincoln 1-cent coin that could be worth up to an incredible $42,200. Yup, you heard that right, just a simple penny that could change your life. Stick around, and let's explore why this little piece of copper might be worth a whole lot more than you think. Alright, let's start by rolling back the clock to 1960. This year was a significant time in American history. The post-war boom was in full swing, Kennedy was elected president, and in Denver, the U.S. Mint was hard at work striking millions of Lincoln cents. Now, the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark, produced a staggering 1.5 billion Lincoln pennies in 1960. But what makes some of these coins worth just a cent while others can sell for tens of thousands of dollars? It's all about the details, and I mean really small details. We're going to dive into a specific minting error and variety that makes this coin incredibly valuable. Let's talk about the difference between the small date and the large date varieties, and what makes these coins worth so much. In 1960, the U.S. Mint produced two versions of the Lincoln cent, the small date and the large date. And no, this isn't about going to prom with Abe Lincoln. It's literally about the size of the date on the coin. The small date variety has smaller numerals compared to the large date. The key is in how the numbers 1 and 9 are aligned. The small date has a more delicate look, with the 6 and 0 also appearing more compressed. Why did this happen? Well, back in 1960, the Mint experienced some technical issues with the master die, and they ended up using two different date sizes during production. This wasn't uncommon for the era, but it did result in a range of coins with different values, especially when it comes to rarity and condition. But hold on, there's something even more intriguing about the 1960 Lincoln penny, and that's the famous double die error. Now, you might be wondering, what is a double die error? A double die error occurs when the coin die itself is struck twice in slightly different positions. This results in noticeable doubling on certain parts of the coin, often the date, mint mark, or lettering. And for the 1960 penny, the doubling is very prominent, especially on the numbers in the date. This type of error is what collectors absolutely love. It gives the coin a distinct, almost ghostly appearance, with numbers and letters appearing doubled. Because of its rarity, this particular coin becomes a hot item for collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for such a unique piece of history. So, how can you tell if you have one of these valuable pennies? Well, first things first, check the mint mark. You'll need a 1960 penny with the D Mint mark, indicating it was struck in Denver. Then, examine the date closely. You'll need a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for signs of doubling on the date, particularly the 1 and the 9. If you notice what looks like a shadow or a double line, you might just be holding one of these rare coins. Also, pay attention to whether the coin is a small date variety, as these tend to be worth more compared to the large date versions. If you have a small date with doubling, bingo! You might be onto something big. Of course, like most collectibles, condition is key. A coin in mint state, that's MS 65 or above, will fetch a much higher price than a coin that's been in circulation. The $42,200 value that we're talking about today is for a coin in exceptional condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NG. Collectors will often use a scale that ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS 70. If your penny is in mint condition, showing no signs of wear, shiny surfaces, and sharp details, congratulations, you could be looking at a life-changing payday. Now, let's talk numbers. Just how much is this coin worth in the current market? Well, the highest value ever recorded for a 1960 Lincoln penny was a whopping $42,200. This was for a coin in MS 67 red condition with a double die error. The red designation means that the coin retains its original reddish copper color without turning brown due to oxidation. And trust me, this color can make all the difference for collectors. For those of you with less pristine pennies, don't be discouraged. Even coins in lower mint states or slightly circulated conditions can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500, depending on their grade and the presence of doubling. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with historical anomalies like these, and if you have one that stands out, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Imagine paying off some bills or taking a dream vacation, all from a single penny. So, what do you do if you think you have one of these valuable pennies? My best advice is to get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS or can give you an official grade, and that makes it much easier to sell at an auction or to a collector. You can also consider online marketplaces like eBay, but keep in mind, without a professional grade, you might not get top dollar. The safest bet is to take it to a reputable coin dealer or an auction house that specializes in rare coins. So there you have it, folks, the story of the 1960 Lincoln penny that could be worth up to $42,200. A tiny piece of copper with a big story behind it. Who knew that a little mistake at the mint could turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more content on rare coins, currency secrets, and collectible treasures. And don't forget to check your piggy banks, coin jars, and that old box in the attic. You never know what you might find. Video might just blow your mind. Imagine finding a penny from 1961, only to realize it's worth over $36,200. Yes, you heard that right, a simple 1961 Lincoln penny could be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. Stick around, and we'll break down exactly what makes this penny so valuable and how you can see if you've got one in your collection. Let's start with a quick history lesson. The 1961 Lincoln penny was produced at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark. Over 1.7 billion of these pennies were struck that year, making it a pretty common coin in general circulation. You can identify the 1961 D penny by its distinctive D mark just below the date on the obverse side. But here's the thing, not all 1961 D pennies are created equal. Many of them are worth just a penny or maybe a bit more if they're in decent condition. However, there are rare variants and errors that have caused some of these coins to reach sky-high prices, like the $36,200 one we'll discuss today. So, why is this penny so special? The key factor is the error coins. Coins with minting errors are highly sought after by collectors. The 1961 D penny has a few well-known varieties and errors that dramatically increase its value. Here are the main ones you need to know about. Look closely at the date or the word Liberty on the obverse side. If you notice any doubling, essentially, it looks like the design was printed twice but slightly off, then you could have what's called a double die obverse. This type of error occurred when the coin die wasn't aligned correctly during the striking process, leading to a slightly doubled image. DDO coins can fetch thousands, depending on their condition. Another potential valuable error is a repunched mint mark. On some 1961 D pennies, the D mint mark was punched more than once, resulting in overlapping or misaligned Ds. This is known as an RPM, and it's a key factor in driving up the coin's value. The clearer and more dramatic the repunching, the more valuable the coin could be. Even without an error, some 1961 D pennies can be worth a lot if they are in mint state condition. Coins graded as MS 65 or higher are quite rare for their shine, color, and lack of wear. A coin in pristine condition, straight from the mint with minimal handling, can significantly increase in value. If you find a flawless 1961 D penny with a beautiful red luster, you could be looking at a hefty sum, potentially in the tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about that incredible $36,200 penny. In 2019, a collector found a 1961 D Lincoln penny in absolutely immaculate condition. It was graded MS 67 RD** by PCGS, one of the top coin grading services in the world. RD stands for red, which is used to describe pennies that retain their original reddish copper color, indicating minimal exposure to the elements. This particular penny also had a prominent double die feature, which made it exceptionally rare. When it went up for auction, it sold for an astonishing $36,200. It's proof that with the right combination of condition, rarity, and error, even the most common coin can become a serious collector's item. Alright, so you're probably wondering, how can you find one of these rare and valuable 1961D pennies? Here are some tips. You'll need a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to spot the fine details like doubling or RPMs, look closely at the date, the mint mark, and any letters to identify any unusual features. Don't overlook those old penny jars you might have at home, or even coin rolls from the bank. Many people don't realize they might be holding on to a valuable error coin, and banks won't bother to check for such details. If you find a 1961D penny that seems special, consider getting it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grading not only helps verify its authenticity but can also provide an official estimate of its condition and value. So, what's the current market value for a 1961D penny? For most, the value ranges between 3 to 10 cents, depending on circulation. However, if you have one with errors like a double die or RPM, or if it's in mint state with a high grade like MS 65 or above, the value can be anywhere from $100 to over $10,000, and as we've seen, in rare cases, even reach up to $36,200. Collectors are always on the lookout for high-quality coins. And with the growing popularity of numismatics, the market is constantly evolving. If you think you found something special, keep an eye on auction listings and recent sales to get a sense of what your penny could be worth. And there you have it, folks. A 1961D penny may seem ordinary, but with the right combination of mint errors or a pristine state, it could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands. So next time you come across an old penny, take a moment to examine it. Who knows? You might be holding on to a hidden treasure worth far more than just 1 cent. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, history, and treasure hunting secrets. And let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny, maybe even a 1961D that's worth a fortune. Until next time, happy collecting. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you'll never miss a video. Who knows? Our next episode might just cover another valuable coin hiding in your change jar right now. We're talking about a coin that seems so ordinary but could be hiding some big value. Yes, we're talking about the 2004D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. I'm your host, your name, and today, we're diving into the world of the 2004D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, some of these coins are worth far more than a single cent, and could fetch you up to $3200. So if you have some old pennies lying around, you might want to grab them and give them a second look. Let's get right into it. First, let's take a step back and look at the history of this coin. The Lincoln penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, has been in production since 1909, commemorating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Since then, it's been a staple of American coinage, with billions of them produced each year. The D Mint mark, in case you didn't know, signifies that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. The 2004D Lincoln penny was part of a very large mint run, which means millions of these coins were produced that year. But what makes some of them so valuable? Well, the secret lies in a few very important details: errors, rare varieties, and condition. Let's break these down. One of the reasons the 2004D penny can be so valuable is because of specific minting errors that occurred during production. Coin collectors love rare varieties and mistakes, which can make an otherwise common coin extraordinarily valuable. Let's start with one type of error, the double die. A double die error occurs when the die, the part of the minting machine that stamps the image onto the blank coin, creates a doubled impression. This results in a noticeable doubling effect, usually visible on the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. If you find a 2004D penny with doubling on it, you could be looking at a significant increase in value. Another type of error is a die crack. This occurs when the minting die develops a small crack and leaves a raised line on the surface of the coin. A 2004 penny with a significant die crack is also considered highly collectible. Collectors also look for off-center strikes, which happen when the blank coin, or planchet, isn't perfectly centered when it gets stamped. These off-center coins can be very valuable, especially if a large part of the design is missing. Now, let's talk numbers. If you have a 2004 Lincoln penny with a prominent error, such as doubling or an off-center strike, the value can range anywhere from a few $100s to tens of thousands. And yes, some specific error coins have fetched prices as high as $30,200 in auctions. Of course, the value of your penny also depends a lot on its condition. Coin collectors use a grading system to determine the quality of a coin. The higher the grade, the more money your penny could be worth. A 2004 penny in circulated condition, that's one that's been used and shows signs of wear, will be worth its face value, or maybe a little more to the right collector. But if you have a coin that's in mint state, meaning it looks like it just came from the mint without any signs of wear, then you could have something very valuable. For example, a 2004 penny graded MS67 or higher can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And if you add an error to the mix, like a double die, you could easily see that price rise to the tens of thousands, with some reaching that staggering $30,200 mark. So, what should you do if you have a 2004 penny and want to see if it's valuable? Here are a few tips to help you determine if you have a hidden gem in your collection. Make sure you have a penny from 2004 with a D mint mark under the date. Use a magnifying glass to closely examine the date, lettering, and Lincoln's profile. Look for signs of doubling, die cracks, or other unusual features. Is your coin shiny and nearly flawless? If it looks uncirculated, it might be worth getting it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS. If you think you have something special, consider reaching out to a coin dealer or getting the coin professionally graded. This can greatly help in determining its true market value. Now, let's talk about the current market value. At the moment, standard 2004 pennies are only worth their face value, 1 cent, unless they are in mint state or have errors. But some recent auctions have shown that high-quality examples of 2004 Lincoln pennies, especially with significant errors, have sold for big bucks. In 2023, a 2004 penny with a major double die error and in mint state 68 sold for over $30,200. That's a life-changing amount of money for a penny that you could easily find in your pocket change. So if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare varieties in great condition, you could be looking at a serious payday. Well, there you have it, folks. The 2004 Lincoln penny might seem like just another common coin, but under the right circumstances, it could be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. So, the next time you have some spare change lying around, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just have a $30,000 penny hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content about rare coins and collectibles, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And tell me in the comments, have you found any interesting pennies in your collection? I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.